So I have some rack rails. This is from an AMD SC220 chassis, which I'm going to repurpose for carrying some other things. The problem is they're a bit too long. So I'm going to take this one off. Maybe about right here would be right. And this is from Dell Compellant Storage Array, which it also fits in nicely. Right here. I'm going to cut these down. So for this first part, I'm just drilling out the rivets which hold these Dell rack rails together. So these are for I think 27 to 32 inch deep racks, and where I have a deeper network rack which is only 24 inches. So they don't work for my rack. So one of the things I'm doing here is starting with a smaller drill bit size. One tip for if you have to remove rivets or drilling any type of steel, try to use some oil lubricant, set the drill to a low speed and use more pressure. One of the problems I have here is the rivets. These are designed to sit on a shoulder washer and they slide back and forth. So the rivets will just spin when you try to drill them. So I'm using a set of pliers there to pop them off. There, I got one of them off. But yeah, it's mainly just being able to use pressure, low drill speed to get the steel out, and it took a while to get these out. One of the things I was trying to do is save the shoulder washer, which I ended up not using anyway. I found it was better just to bolt these back together with some M5 bolts, which really gets them very stable rail once it's done. So I had to hammer out some of them. Some of them were really difficult to get out. Just drilling through wasn't enough. I used a grinding wheel to cut these off. You could use a hacksaw, would be the cheapest method. It would take a little longer, but probably result in a cleaner cut. Ideally, if you have a bandsaw with a good metal blade, it's ideal. The nice thing about the grinding wheel, if you're working with metal, is you can use it to deburr everything, get it smoothed out the way you want. This is the other end that the rear support. So this also has to be ground down in order for the racks to fit. And here I marked some holes, made a dent just to keep the bit from walking. These are the holes to secure the bolts that I'm going to fit in. And these are just some metric, I believe they're M5 bolts that I'm going to use to hold these down. Originally I was going to go with rivets, but yeah, when I actually put things together, realized this is going to be the way to go to get everything aligned and locked down tight. You might not be able to see here, but this is just two M5 hex bolts, a washer, and a hex nut. And it's far enough back where it doesn't interfere with where the storage chassis extends to. There's a stop just before these bolts that prevents the, you can see right there, that prevents the storage chassis from going back. And so here's me just snapping them in. So yeah, these came for free when I ordered this Dell storage array. And they fit perfectly. So I don't even think they make, Dell makes these for a shorter rack. So your solution is either spend 50 bucks on a aftermarket one that's not going to fit well, or modify them for free basically, because they came with the chassis. This is the rails for the AMD ASROCK BC250. So this is a chassis that I ordered, which is filled with a bunch of blades, which are basically cut down PS5s, PlayStation 5s, for originally cryptocurrency mining. The rails that it came with were pretty nice. I mean, for a generic rail that can hold basically anything. I just had to cut them down. So these are a lot easier. They were just held together with simple metric bolts. So just unscrew them, cut them down with a hacksaw, or in my case, a grinding wheel. Or ideally, I think a bandsaw would have been the best. I have a bandsaw, but I don't have a metal blade for it. So I made do with a grinding wheel. To put these back together is really just sliding them back together and putting the original bolts back in. There's no switching over between rivets or bolts. So these are just a nice kind of generic rack rail that can hold any 19-inch wide piece of equipment in your rack. So one of the issues with these is they have um, I guess you'd say a stop on the front that's designed to fit in these newer designed racks with the slots. On one side, it fit perfectly. On the side I'm installing here, it was slightly oversized for my rack, so it didn't insert all the way through. Off camera, I ended up going through and to both sides and grinding it down with a file, which only took a couple minutes to do. But definitely you want to, with something like that, if the tolerances aren't right, modify the rack rails and not the rack, because then if I had modified the slots for the rack, then potentially swap equipment later on. You have something that's too loose. But yeah, I'm not sure why they just had one pair of the rack rails. Looks like the tolerances were different. And once I got everything filed down on that side, on the left side rail, it fit in perfectly. So this is a really secure. I mean, this is not the most stable rack, but once you get everything bolted in, not the most heavy gauge rack, I should say, from Vevor, but once you get a few pairs of rack rails in there, it becomes really solid. So this is the final result. Hopefully this is helpful to someone if you made it this far.